This video isn't meant to discourage anyone from wanting to earn, but rather to give you a comparative advantage, steering clear of industries where failure rates are higher than others. Open your eyes to the reality of business and welcome to a new video about startups that are better off not starting. According to statistics, the chances of success in these industries are extremely low. According to recent research, up to 90% of startups fail. In most industries, the average failure rate is 10% within the first year, increasing to 70% from the second to the fifth year. And should I begin this list with one of the worst business investments you can make? Perhaps for some, this might come as a surprise, but starting a restaurant business nowadays is highly unprofitable. The average profit margin for restaurants is around 3 to 5%. About 80% of restaurants close within the first year of opening. It's definitely a business to avoid at all costs. And here are more reasons. Opening a restaurant presents us with an unpredictable, highly competitive business with low profit margins, high closure rates, susceptible to market changes and external influences. Also, it requires significant initial investments to start. The risk-to-reward ratio doesn't work in your favor here. The taste and quality of your food, though important, won't play a significant role in the success of this business model. The main struggle lies in areas you might not have considered yet, such as forecasting demand, food storage, and freezer quality. Also, waste theft, working days throughout the week, staff shortages, local competition, utilities, and overhead expenses. A lot works against you at a 5% profit margin. Typically, 1/3 of revenue is usually allocated to the cost of goods sold, another third to labor costs, with the remaining portion supposed to cover any additional overhead expenses. Moreover, when you own a restaurant, especially in the growth stage, you'll need to fully immerse yourself in this business. So forget about weekends and holidays, family time, and your social life in general. Instead of dealing with a traditional restaurant business, perhaps you'll consider starting with a simple food truck or a company that operates solely on delivery or takeout before deciding to open your own restaurant. The next business to steer clear of as much as possible is the nightlife entertainment industry. I remember helping my friend's parents clean up the nightclub on Saturday and Sunday mornings, and frankly, it was quite unpleasant. But I witnessed how they prepared every week, hoping for good attendance to make money on entry fees and drink sales. The cost of opening your own nightclub will depend on the location. If you're opening a nightclub in a small town, the estimated cost will be around $100,000, while opening a club in a major city can cost millions. The average opening check for such a business ranges from $240,000 to $840,000. You also have expenses such as rent, alcohol sales license, staff wages, DJs, and performers. You need security because when people drink too much, things happen. Don't forget about utilities, interior design, and equipment purchases. The percentage of failure rate is about 75% and even 90% in some places. External factors like weather can nullify your weekend turnout and you'll still bear all overhead costs regardless of whether people show up or not. But listen, when this business really works, the return on your investment is great. Just understand that it's usually luck, and once it runs out, your business will change too. Remember, the main thing in this niche is marketing. Constantly come up with something new and attract celebrities. People besides Brett always want a show. Now, here's some very interesting information for you. In the autonomous business, there is a niche to avoid. The idea of buying a franchise and vending machines is good, selling food and drinks to people isn't bad. But then, there are those who buy not coffee machines but ATMs. And they're thinking of providing cash services to people as representatives of a commercial financial institution. This business and the fact that it's on this list might disappoint some of you, but the main reason I don't recommend it is its relevance. Here's a question for you. Will there still be demand for this service in the future? According to recent research, states are likely to move towards cashless transactions in the future. For instance, 2/5 of Americans didn't use cash at all in 2022. As we get closer and closer to a cashless society, we'll want to choose businesses that will still exist in years to come. There is no reason to start a cash issuance business if its dynamics are declining. This business might have been great 10 years ago, you could start it today. Find a few great locations and make decent semi-passive income. However, if you're thinking of starting a business, you would better choose one that will work for a long time. Also, the barrier to entry into this autonomous business is low, meaning intensified competition. You can buy ATMs for just a few $1,000s to start, but the same factor makes it easier for others considering entering this business. Remember, you still need to find a location that allows you to place your ATMs, and these places need to have a lot of foot traffic for you to make money. A successful ATM placement can bring you over $400 a month in profit. Your investment figures and profitability may look decent, but again, the future of this business is bleak. I grew up in an era where we constantly visited small local shops and pharmacies. Now they're almost non-existent. Here comes Walmart, and it has destroyed many small stores, causing them to cease their operations. It is sad to see, but we're moving more towards online shopping, and most of these retail startups won't be able to compete with big online companies. So, why is operating a retail store included in this list? Well, for one, there is fierce competition. You're not only competing with other local regular stores, but now you also have to think about countless online companies selling similar products at much lower prices. Like independent restaurants, retail stores have a closure rate exceeding 60% at the 10-year mark. Think about it, an online store doesn't have the overheads that a regular retail store does, so they can charge less for the same items. Expenses like utilities and rent for your store's building can eat into your profits, and increasing margins means you have to charge more. Before deciding what kind of retail store you want to open, study your competitors. Are you prepared to compete with both regular stores and online companies? If you are, then go for it. Find an untapped niche in your area and decide if you want to fill it and with what. But this is a business I've tried myself, and it didn't work out for me, so I don't recommend it to you. Every aspiring entrepreneur imagines their logo will be as iconic as the bitten apple of Apple. So, they designed their logo and try to put it even on products they have had made by someone else's company. I remember many years ago spending my $5,000 to start a business selling on Amazon. I ordered these stress relief balls from China, slapped my logo on the box and then sent them to Amazon and sold a grand total of 2 units. I quickly exited the business and lost all my money. That's what Amazon private labeling is for those hearing about it for the first time. It's when you work with a manufacturer to create a product, then brand it with your logo and sell it on Amazon. Competition in this business is unreal. If you happen to find a unicorn, it won't be a miracle compared to a product you can slap your logo on and sell profitably for only a few months. Because as soon as you start selling this wonder product, your competitors will catch on, and it will be a race to the bottom. There are low barriers to entry in this business, and there will always be plenty of offerings. Many gurus recommend this startup, creating stiff competition in the business niche. Also, foreign manufacturers from China have practically taken over this business. This startup didn't work out for me, but that doesn't mean it can't work for you. It's just not something I want to deal with. I would prefer to create my own online store and drive traffic to my site. Additionally, having your online platform allows you to stay somewhat more unnoticed by your competitors who use browser extensions to analyze sales data. To those who say you don't need much intelligence to sell, don't believe them. Direct sales business requires a certain mindset and character, and it's one thing when you're doing it yourself. But if your friend asks you to become part of a multi-level marketing business, say no. You'll always hear grand stories of business success in this field, but you'll never hear that this business resembles a financial pyramid. and 90% of representatives in such direct sales suffer significant financial losses. Only the people at the top of this organization and the person who hires you make money. Companies like Amway, Mary Kay, Pampered Chef, and Herbalife make money only from their consultants who buy their products. Instead of making a big company richer, it's better to create your own savings or investment account for unforeseen circumstances, or simply use those funds to go on vacation. I assure you, the income you bring to your health will outweigh any losses from multi-level marketing. Another business with a high loss rate will be construction. On one hand, you're giving people something new and bright, but the flip side is much darker. If you have a passion for construction and offer unique solutions that buyers can't get from another builder, make sure your finances are in order before you start. Labor shortages and supply chain issues can stretch construction timelines and increase the time it takes for client payments to come into your business account. Thus, your firm will always need working capital that it won't have enough of. Starting your own construction business is a tough task. You not only have to be good at your craft, but also become a full-time salesperson and a part-time consultant. Construction companies also have a failure rate exceeding 60% at the 10-year mark. Print media release. We live in a world where information plays a crucial role. But even in this sphere, there is a niche that's no longer worth pursuing. The print media industry has been in decline for several years, and this trend is expected to continue. This is due to the availability of digital media and the shift to online news. Print publications face challenges in attracting readers and advertisers, and as a result, it's difficult for print media to generate good revenue. Here are a few reasons why a business with print media might be considered bad. Printing and distributing physical copies of newspapers or magazines can be a costly endeavor. Purchasing paper, printing ink, printing equipment, all of these now come at a higher price, as does the logistics of distribution. As the readership declines, covering these expenses becomes increasingly challenging. This leads to a decrease in profitability. Furthermore, print media has limitations in terms of flexibility and timelines. News articles must undergo a lengthy preparation process before reaching readers. So, for anyone looking to find a business in the media sphere, the focus should be on the digital era. Media entrepreneurs should direct their efforts and resources towards online publishing platforms. They should pay attention to digital subscriptions and master social media to reach a wider audience. So, we've talked about some businesses that usually have a higher failure rate, but let's look at the reasons why most businesses fail. The main reason is cash flow problems. More than 8 out of 10 businesses face issues in this aspect of business, leading to an 82% failure rate. Financial flow issues arise when a business lacks liquid capital in the bank to cover its expenses. When cash outflows exceed inflows, businesses struggle to pay debts and other expenses. This can become a serious problem when you run out of financial resources. Another reason why a business fails, regardless of what it is simply that it doesn't have market demand. Many aspiring entrepreneurs and even some experienced business people start a business without prior testing to see if there is any demand or customers for that business. About 35% of businesses fail because there simply isn't enough demand for the product or service they want to offer. It's important to spend time on marketing research and testing to ensure that customers want what you're selling. This simple step will help you avoid wasting time, energy, and resources. The best thing you can do is learn from other companies and find out why they failed. I've researched the issue and compiled a list of the main reasons startups fail. Here are some of them. The company ran out of money or couldn't attract new capital. There was no market demand for the business, intense competition, choosing the wrong business model. There were too many regulatory or legal obstacles, incorrectly evaluated their product, hired the wrong people, and failed to pivot when changes were needed. There are many businesses with a high level of failure simply because most people who decide to start a business don't take on commitments and don't follow them through to the end. Few things in life come easy. Any business can be challenging and difficult. Don't let someone else's business failures deter you from pursuing your dream. After all, behind any failure statistic, there is an even more dramatic success story to be told. Subscribe to the channel and leave comments. I promise to share with you all my victories and failures in business.